Lee grabs for his head and his low back after the foul by Dwight Howard.
The NBA court is a stage where athletic brilliance is celebrated.
Oh, man.
But it has also been the backdrop for some of the most devastating and shocking injuries in sports history. Today, we'll revisit 10 brutal moments that left players, fans, and the entire basketball community reeling in horror and disbelief. These were not just injuries that altered careers and championship dreams. They were traumatic events that inspired empathy, resilience, and a deeper appreciation for the immense sacrifices athletes make.
And Baines got the worst of that exchange between Giannis.
As we relive these harrowing incidents, remember that behind each one lies a profound human story of perseverance and an unwavering spirit that refuses to be broken. In the 2012 NBA playoffs, the Chicago Bulls' Derrick Rose was on the cusp of superstardom, emerging as one of the league's most electrifying young talents. But in a fateful moment in Game 1 against the Philadelphia 76ers, Rose's career took a devastating turn.
Now, whether it was an ankle or a knee, I do not know. There's Coach Collins out there.
As he planted his foot and elevated for a routine layup, his knee suddenly buckled, and the heart-wrenching sound of his ACL tearing echoed through the arena.
You were crying out that you bypassed the harder team in Miami Heat.
Rose came down bad on his left foot. See him holding onto his knee, holding on to...
The diagnosis was crushing, a complete tear that would sideline the former MVP for over a year. The injury permanently altered the trajectory of Rose's career, robbing fans of witnessing the prime of a player destined for greatness.
You just talked about the 26 games he has missed with an assortment of injuries and now holding a knee late in a game that is already decided for all intents and purposes.
Just minutes into the 2017-18 season opener, the Boston Celtics' Gordon Hayward suffered one of the most gruesome injuries the NBA has ever seen. As he elevated for an alley-oop, Hayward's leg bent at an unnatural angle, the sickening crack of his tibia and fibula fracturing, sending shockwaves through the crowd. Teammates and opponents alike recoiled in horror, unable to process the severity of the situation as Hayward writhed in agony on the court. The long-term impact was immediate. Hayward would miss the entire season, embarking on a painstaking rehabilitation process to regain the form that had made him an all-star.
Such a fabulous guy. His first game in a Boston Celtic uniform. 6 minutes in the first quarter.
The 2014 USA Basketball exhibition game between Team USA and the Detroit Pistons was supposed to be a showcase of the world's best basketball talent. But in a horrific moment, that all changed. As Indiana Pacers star Paul George elevated for a closeout, his leg snapped violently upon impact with the stanchion. The sickening crack of bone echoed through the arena, and as George writhed in agony on the floor, teammates and opponents alike recoiled in shock and horror.
Paul George suffering what appears to be an injury.
The open tibia fibula fracture was a devastating blow, not just for George, but for the entire basketball community.
Playing pickup basketball, Paul George suffering a serious lower leg injury, and we're going to take a break and come back right after this.
The 2013 NCAA tournament was supposed to be a joyous celebration of the next generation of basketball stars. But in a shocking instant, that excitement turned to collective trauma. As Louisville Cardinals player Kevin Ware contested a shot, his leg buckled in a way no one should ever witness. The compound fracture, with bone protruding through the skin, left his teammates and coaches in tears. utterly unable to process the sheer brutality of the injury unfolding before their eyes. Ware's resilience in the face of such a devastating setback would go on to inspire the basketball world. The 1970 NBA Finals pitted the New York Knicks against the Los Angeles Lakers in a highly anticipated showdown. But just moments before Game 7, the Knicks were dealt a devastating blow when their captain, Willis Reed, suffered a torn muscle in his leg. As Reed limped off the court during pre-game warm-ups, the crowd fell silent, their hearts sinking at the prospect of losing their team's inspirational leader. Yet, in a moment that would cement his legacy as an NBA icon, Reed emerged from the locker room to a thunderous ovation, determined to lead his Knicks to victory.
And I think we see Willis coming out. There he comes right now. 6'10" from Grambling. The captain of the Knicks, the most valuable player of the NBA.
His courageous performance, even while visibly hobbled, inspired his teammates to a championship win, solidifying Reed's place in basketball history. One of the NBA's all-time great centers, Bill Walton, was plagued by a series of debilitating foot injuries that robbed him of his full potential. Walton's recurring problems, including multiple fractures and surgeries, prevented him from sustaining the level of dominance he had displayed earlier in his career.
To the best of my ability, and whatever happens from there is, I guess, what you call history. I don't know.
But this is not what Walton had in mind. A cast put on his injured left foot yesterday morning by Portland Trailblazer physician Dr. Frank Smith.
Highlights of Walton's brilliant, rim-protecting play were often interspersed with gut-wrenching footage of him sitting on the bench in a cast or hobbling around on crutches, a constant reminder of the fragility of the human body and the cruel twists of fate that can derail even the most promising careers. In 2007, the NBA world was shaken to its core when then 22-year-old Shaun Livingston suffered one of the most gruesome injuries in league history. As Livingston drove to the hoop and missed a layup, his knee buckled in a way that defied the laws of anatomy, bending at an unnatural angle. The sickening crack of his ligaments tearing, the dislocation of his kneecap, and the fracturing of his tibia and fibula left onlookers recoiling in horror. Livingston's future in the NBA hung in the balance, as he faced an immensely challenging road to recovery and the uncertainty of whether he would ever regain the form that had made him a promising young talent. While not an NBA injury, the 1985 incident involving NFL quarterback Joe Theismann serves as a sobering reminder of the fragility of the human body in sports. In a routine play, Theismann's leg snapped violently after a tackle, the compound fracture of his tibia and fibula causing the crowd and commentators to react in sheer disbelief.
3, but it's Taylor over Carson, slamming, and you see
The graphic nature of the injury, with Theismann's bone protruding through the skin, was one of the most horrific sights ever witnessed on national television. These injuries have left an indelible mark on the NBA and the broader sports world. They serve as sobering reminders of the fragility of the human body, even at the highest levels of athletic achievement. Yet, within these tragic moments, we've also borne witness to the unbreakable spirit of the game and the remarkable resilience of the athletes who have overcome such devastating setbacks. Their stories of perseverance and determination have inspired us all, reminding us that the true measure of greatness lies not just in on-court performance, but in the strength of character forged through adversity. As we reflect on these brutal injuries, we're left with a deeper appreciation for the sacrifices athletes make and the bravery they exhibit in the face of such immense challenges. The NBA will continue to provide us with moments of breathtaking skill and unforgettable triumph, but it's these harrowing incidents that truly test the limits of the human spirit and remind us of the profound courage that lies within each and every athlete who steps onto the court.